if you are under a rock, maybe you would not have heard that ZELDRIS is coming tomorrow in a festival banner, a Holy War festival, and he looks pretty good. I've seen a lot of hate on him in the comments and on Twitter, but I think he is going to be a very good unit. Every festival so far at release has been meta shifting, and I think it's gonna be the same thing, honestly. And I like that this ZELDRIS does not really require to be with Assault Melee, you know? Because he doesn't have any sort of like a kit on him. Anything on his kit that says, oh, you have to be with X character to be stronger, like let's say Red ZELDRIS, he has to be with commandments to give stats. Not that he has to be, but you know, there's something like that, you know? He is a character that's pretty free to use with whatever team you want. Of course, people want to use him with Assault Melee. Assault Melee is one of my favorite characters in the game, honestly. His lines are fantastic. The damage he does when he has like full buffs is like insane. He's all around like a great unit. And getting support is something I've been asking for a long time, you know that. I've been asking for this. So I'm very pleased with the ZELDRIS in a way. So I put together here some teams I think could work for him. We're going to be testing them, of course, tomorrow when the unit does come out. But I also want you to, if you think of a team that I don't talk about in this video, to reply to this video with any team composure you might think probably will be the best for him, or either, you know, very good for him, not necessarily the best, but just very good in general. And I'd love to read that. But quick side note, let's just talk about what he does. Increases allies' basic stats by 2% for every debuff by the enemies. This is a passive like Easton. I did ask Grandcross. Oh, bruh. I did ask Grandcross database, like if he works in the back, and she did say that yes, he works in the back. But the thing is that yeah. It's for each active debuff on the enemies, you'll be getting 2% stats for all your allies. It does work in the back though, just, you know, so you know. But, you know, limit to 10 times. It's probably gonna be in the range of 3 to 6 to maybe 9 debuffs, depending on the team you're using. Of course, if you're using like Kyo, for example, it's gonna be very easy to just get that maxed out, right? But, you know, regular team with maybe Assault Melee, for example, it's going to be more difficult to, like, apply all those debuffs. So, as a buffer, Red ZELDRIS will be more consistent in the back than Green ZELDRIS, if that's what you're looking for, right? If you're looking for that buff, Red ZELDRIS will still be probably better in that regard. But, as a playable unit, how about Green ZELDRIS? I don't like his commandment so much, but I guess it makes sense with his card. If a critical strike occurs from skill use, decreases crit rate and crit damage by 10%, limit to 3 times. So of course that's definitely for Escanor, right? But the one thing I don't like about this is that Assault Melee will be heavily countered by this. And that doesn't make sense to me. If they wanted to give Assault Melee, you know, a partner, why they would also debuff Assault Melee? It's a little weird, but like, let's say you buff up your Assault Melee, that first hit will be completely undebuffed and will hit pretty hard. So inflicts cut damage equal to 500% of attack that does not cause critical strike on one enemy. Honestly, I really want to see these kills, man. We saw the ultimate, but I really want to see like this this debuff card, how it looks, and the attack card. They look sick. Regardless, so it's a very weird wording for what people have been, you know, interpreting of it. It means that he can't crit with his card, but he will do extra damage with it based on crit damage. So he never crits, but he does more damage based on crit damage. Or if he doesn't crit, he does more damage based on crit damage. But I guess it is he can't crit with the attack card, which makes sense with his commandment, which he can't debuff himself then. I guess he can with the ultimate, because the ultimate can still crit, but I guess it makes sense. Black Road. Pretty sick name. Demon Area. Demon Area is a very sick name. Depletes 2 ultimate move gauge orbs at the end of the enemy's turn. Disables ultimate move. I want to see how, you know, the level 1 and 2 are going to be looking like. I'm assuming it's going to be like maybe this, depletes 1 orb and then disables ultimate move for 1 turn. Then level 2 will be like depletes 2 orbs and disables for 1 turn, or maybe the opposite. Or maybe level 1 will not have like the disable ultimate part. We'll see. Chandler, quick. The ultimate is okay. Like, decreases HP related stats of all enemies by 5%, go up to 15% for 3. That, out of all the festivals that have like an effect that goes up per level, I think he has the weakest for sure. If an enemy attacks you, they lose 7% of stats for 1 turn before they attack. It's kind of insane, and it stacks, repeatable. It stacks infinitely, apparently. I mean, you can only attack 3 times, but still. Same skill as Green Valenti, the Mark II Green Valenti, very good. Counter card, which looks very good as well. So this Chandler is honestly very exciting to use. So of course it's gonna be in one of the teams that I'm talking about here. But let's catch the teams. So of course the most obvious team that everyone's gonna be wanting to use them is Assault Melee. This is one of the builds that I was thinking of. You're using ZELDRIS and Chandler because Chandler has Taunt, or you could replace Chandler with Blue Drool or Blue Derriere, and I found maybe using Melascla as 4th, or you could use literally anyone as 4th. I guess that could be like a Demon or Commandment, right? I just found Melascla because if Chandler dies, for instance, having that revive coming to the front could be very, very good. And ZELDRIS could be switched for the back, but again, you're not really debuffing them, so I don't know about putting him in the back right there. I mean, you could, take off this ZELDRIS and then put red ZELDRIS, but like, then what's the point of making a team for green ZELDRIS if you're not using him, right? Or you can switch Chandler for, green Droll if you want that extra seal on ultimate. You're already sealing that with ZELDRIS, but if you want that extra one, just in case you can't at that moment, it's probably very good as well. If you don't have Chandler up with your gear, Estarossa for the counters could also be very good. But as a general, taunt type of thing, I prefer Derriere or Droll because their level 2 is 2 turns, while Estarossa's level 2 is 1 turn. And that probably will be the case for Chandler as well. You can see by, the level 3 stands for 2 turns. There is a chance that the level 2 will also be 2 turns, but I highly doubt it. Most likely it will be, it stands for 1 turn, and level 2 will be 1 turn again. Then level 3 is 2 turns. That's just how Estarossa works. That's most likely how his counter will also work. But it could also be 2 turns level 2, which will be, if it is, then he's mandatory. Then he's amazing. But yeah, that's one of the builds I was thinking, and it could also be very good. And this is, where is it? This one. So this is a non-assault melee team, and I think this could also be very, very good. So I have this one on Photoshop because I actually want to move around the characters and stuff. This could be ZELDRIS, Gelfer, and Kyo. Kyo debuffing the enemies for ZELDRIS to give the stats. Or if you're scared that Kyo's gonna die, you can take off Gelfer, right? And replace Gelfer with Chandler or Diane. And you have the taunts, right? Or Droll, or even Derriere. I don't know if I didn't put Derriere here, but regardless. Diane is like the best taunt in the game. Alright, you have a level 1 that lasts for 3 turns, the best taunt in the game. If you just purely want taunt, she's the go-to, right? So you have Diane or Chandler here, if you don't want Kyo to be, harassed. And that can work very well against Merlins, because, he's red. But let's say you don't have Kyo, right? I think Merlin could be fantastic as well. Her debuff is it's only 1 debuff, so you're only going to be having, 3 at once. But you can put her with Chandler, Diane, and ZELDRIS, and I think that will also be very, very good. Because her debuff, I was going to pull up the base for Merlin. Her debuff is honestly kind of underrated, I feel like. Just disabling lifesteal is one of the greatest effects you can just use in general. So you can use this team, or you can use Emilia. Emilia has the freeze, and she has a very good ultimate, and so she can also be incredibly good if you, pulled for the ReZero characters. And You can also replace, not use a taunt, and instead use Red Gopher. That also can be very, very good because the enemies don't really want to attack Emilia as much, because if you attack her twice, you get frozen. But if you attack seal them, and then you have the freeze as well, this could be a very, very, very powerful team. Or again, Chandler, our boy. Or honestly, you can skip the whole part about using Green Gopher. Just completely forgot about Green Gopher, and use Red Gopher with Chandler. Now, you might be asking why. I haven't moved Goddess Liz, but I think Goddess Liz with Chandler as well could be very, very good. Or, Green Gopher, because you're still, having a team where everyone's different races, and in the back, you could have someone else like Merlin, or even I didn't put the one here, or even the one, and they come out, if someone dies here after the revive, they come out, and then you still have, actually, if you're gonna use Merlin, you might want to use Red Gopher, because then you, if she comes out, you're gonna lose the Gopher passive, but, I mean, you can use the one here, I didn't put the one, but you can use the one here, and you're gonna be also very fine with that. So this is why I think ZELDRIS can be very, very versatile. He doesn't have anything on his passive or anything that says, oh, you have to be running him with any other characters. You can just run him however you actually want. And this is just a thing I just thought about right now. There are definitely other teams that he can work out very well. And, you can even use him in the back. You can use him in the back. And then use Merlin, right? Merlin, Red Gopher, and you debuff the enemies, you get the passive buff from him. So he works in any team, unlike Red ZELDRIS, right? Red ZELDRIS needed the commandments. He's buffing any team so long as you're debuffing. So that could also work very well if you're just, wanting his passive. So that's what I thought for now. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I think he's going to be very good. Again, I've seen a lot of hate for him, but I think he's going to be very good.